Hi. I've been well impressed recently by the products coming from this little firm called Anker, Anker. There's no W or no W or B in front of that. They're just called Anker. And I noticed when I was looking through their product list that they do an iPhone 6 Plus cover. Now, I've got an iPhone 6 Plus, and it's a £500 phone in a cover that I bought from Tewkesbury Market for £3. So, being rational, I thought I'd better do something about that. Even though the phone is absolutely immaculate and this cover has kept it absolutely fine since I've had it, and it was only £3. But I'm quite into these Anker things anyway, so I was a bit intrigued, so I ordered one. And here it is. From Amazon, they're £9. £9, just under £10, £9 something. I'll put a link in the description. And while I'm on the subject, this comes, you can see, in a totally appropriate sized box. I once ordered a book from Amazon that came in an enormous box, so I did a YouTube vid about it. And of course, I didn't realise in those days that that would attract the Amazon trolls. Okay, there's people, believe it or not, who are paid to, if you put a critical video on YouTube, they're paid to troll you, even though they deny it. And the whole thing got utterly pathetic, even though, you know, half of me couldn't be bothered with them, and half of me didn't want their stupid comments on my YouTube channel, because it was ridiculous. I mean, the book was that size and the box was that size, you know. And they were writing, "Oh, well, it looks like a good fit to me." But that's why, in case you're interested, I don't allow comments anymore. Although I'm quite interested in some comments from some people, particularly about some of the vids I may or may not have deleted in the recent past. I don't allow that anymore because it also lets a riff-raff in. Okay, and the paid troll scum. Okay, so here it is, it's arrived. So let's have a look. Well, packaging seems okay. Quite neat. Instructions on the back. English, German, French and Japanese. Oops. They seem to give a little booklet with all of these things. Instructions. And I should get my scissors. Well, I don't need them. Okay, and here it is. It's first impressions. It's quite bulky. Here's the old. Where are we? Actually, it's no thicker, is it? It's slightly bigger. It's a few millimeters bigger in every direction. A couple of mils. It feels chunkier. Right, get the iPhone out of the old case. I usually drop it on the floor when I do this, but I'm over carpet, so we're all right. Cut out your swine. There we go. It's out. And it looks like I'm going to have to refer to the instructions to get it open. Okay, I quickly read the instructions and it says open it from the top left. So that is what I'll attempt to do. I can't see any... There's no apparent join that you can sort of prise open, which I suppose is a good sign, but no, have I got it the right way around? Ah, that's the top left. this requires more investigation. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, dum-dum here. There is no join because this sort of wraps around the inner bit. I'll show you. You take it apart from the top left. It says carefully prise it open. Right, you can see one bit fits inside the other. Carefully not smudging the screen. The online reviews of this, some of them just say it's excellent. Some of them say they had trouble with the responsiveness of the screen when it was in here. So we'll see. And it says, place the top left corner of your phone in the front piece and snap in the top right and bottom corners. Well, this is the front piece. Which way up are we? This way up. I should clean the phone really, shouldn't I? Okay. Top left first. In it goes. Okay, that's the phone in the front bit. Insert your device into the top left corner of the surrounding shell. Press down firmly on each corner. Right. So it's pretty obvious. You just press down on the corners. And there you are. There's the phone in the... It feels bulkier, I must admit. It does feel bulkier than it was in that other case. And then you've got two dust flaps on the end here. Can you see them? That open like that. It says make sure everything's snug. So two dust flaps. They look fine, so we'll close them up again. And there it is. Well, first impressions is, I quite like the design, I quite like that back. What I'll have to do is some tests to see whether it affects recording sound or not, which I'll do in a second. But overall impressions is, it's quite bulky. But let's have a look at the responsiveness. Oh, well, that's pretty good. What should we try? Facebook? That came up well. The button down the bottom here is completely unguarded, so that's not going to be affected. Let's try Safari. That started up fine. I don't think there's any problem at all. FaceTime. It's reacting absolutely fine. Let's try scroll. Seems fine to me. Oh, it's reacting perfectly. Excellent. Right, we'll just do some tests on the sound and camera. Okay, here I am using the little selfie camera on the front of the iPhone. And it seems okay. I must admit, I do enjoy holding the camera like this and not having to keep this flap out of the way. Yeah, because that was the drawback on this. It had this this front flap arrangement. Right, that's the test. Okay, well, first impressions. I've just listened to that iMovie iPhone film, and the sound's coming through fine. It's got all the ports are sort of, you can't really see that very well. Let's give it some light here. First impressions. Here's the side. First impressions, it's extremely well made. I mean, as I'm coming to expect from Anker, that is absolutely solid as a rock. The screen is completely responsive, no problem at all with scrolling and selecting icons. The camera and the microphone seem to be working fine. What's not to like? As I say, what I particularly enjoy compared to this one is not having to keep this front cover out of the way while you're making a movie, right? Because I've started using the iPhone where previously I would have taken a camera. If you look at the Tewkesbury Festival and the Tewkesbury Parade movies in my YouTube feed, they were both made entirely on the iPhone, and then the films transferred to the Mac and produced in iMovie. It's a lot easier using the desktop version of iMovie than than the mobile one, I'll tell you. And it's also sort of where I keep everything centrally. So absolutely excellent, as I've come to expect from Anker. What can I say? Obviously, I'm going to test it over the next week or so. If there's any drawbacks with it, which frankly I don't expect, because it's snug as a bug in a rug in there, I will report back. I think the next thing on my list is an Anker USB port thingy where you plug in something to one of the USB ports and you get a USB hub. That's the word I was looking for. Okay, that's the Anker iPhone 6 Plus case. So far, I've only had it 10 minutes, but seems absolutely excellent. Really good in the hand. Yeah, liking it so far. Thanks very much indeed for watching.